understand the history and the darkness of the history with the communism and the terrible leadership actually led to it being fully undeveloped as a nation. But Eddie came in, he has one of the cool things I was attracted to is the fact that he seemed like a very skilled politician, as a very strong and smart leader, but also the fact that he was an artist. I thought it'd be very cool to see what a country really led and built by an artist could be, somebody with amazing taste and great creativity. And so I was just intrigued by it. And then before we went to Corfu, we stopped in Butrent, which was also a spectacular site, and just really felt to me like it showed the potential of the country. So much amazing beauty, the water, we did a lot of swimming, a lot of hiking. The country just had incredible natural beauty, but it seemed like a place that nobody knew or understood. And so didn't think much about it for about a year. And then about a year later, we started looking at opportunities in the Balkans. And the partner who's leading that effort, I said, you know what, let's go down to Albania. I had such a good experience there. Go check it out, see if there's something there. And we were immediately drawn to where they were building an airport in Vlorë. And obviously a country is going to build an airport by the coast in the place that they think is the most beautiful. So we went there, we looked for opportunities, and we were able to find some incredible opportunities. So this really came from obviously a passion, and it came from the desire to build something that I think could be truly unique in the world.
Jared, you are an expert on understanding governments, of course, and trends regarding countries. So how did you get comfortable with this market? And until today, what is your experience on the ground? Because we spoke a lot about the opportunities, but you are the doer. You started something and you're implementing. So tell us more about how things are going on the ground.
Yeah, well, like most things that end up well, you have moments in between where you're like, is this really worth it? You know, what the hell am I doing this for? But I was just very intrigued. We spent about a year really understanding the market, the demographics, the trends. The country's growing twice the rate of Europe. But then you have to say, okay, is this country, which has a little bit of a mixed reputation historically, is it going to be a clean place? Is the government going to do what they say they're going to do? Are you going to be able to get approvals without having to play funny games? Is there going to be, different, are they going to deliver on their promises? And we really spent a year getting to know them, getting to understand it, studying the market before we went through. My partner, Asher, who has really been leading this effort, was the man with the boots on the ground. But the more we got into designing, the more we fell in love with what we were creating, and we felt like the environment was perfect. But without the great work of the team on the ground, our partners on the ground, and the government really creating a very pro-growth environment, we would not have engaged in the project. And one of the great affirmations too is when it was announced we were doing this, the New York Times said, oh, there was all these laws that were changed that benefit your project. Did this happen for you? And I said, I didn't even know about these laws, but I called my partner and said, no, these are the reasons why we decided to go forward with this. He said, and the New York Times even acknowledged that these are pro-growth laws. These are laws that people put in place in order to encourage development, encourage change. I was listening a little bit to the last panel, and they're talking about what needs to happen in order for places to rise. And the government in Albania has been doing all those things. And that leads to investment, that leads to prosperity, that leads to attention, that leads to tourism, it leads to job growth, it leads to wage growth. So all of the right things are happening here. And so I've been very, very proud to highlight it. And, I get a lot of great feedback from the Albanians when I go to the country, and the Albanian diaspora. Even yesterday, I met a gentleman who said, I'm from Albania. I'm going to go this summer back to Vlorë. I've never been there. I'm hearing incredible things, and really thank you for bringing so much promotion to our country, which I think is a total gem of a country.